we good? Are we good? Are you gonna settle somewhere? No, not quite. Hold on. There we. Oh, there. Okay, that was Alice. She is lying at the foot of the tripod, but I think she has settled in. Coraline is hiding behind the TV. Anyway, hi. Anyway, hi. You know me, I'm gonna get distracted by cats now and then, but we are here to talk about Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, and I will admit, just first off, to get it off my chest, this book made me kick my feet like a schoolgirl, maybe like twice, and I did squeak in excitement for the little romances at least once, which is not exactly the vibes that you want with like Peaky Blinders, but with like teenagers, but also at the same time, they're just kids, and it's cute, and the romances are good, damn it. This book goes so much more in depth on the romances, and it doesn't have to, because this book is still like just cool. Take the romances out, you're not really missing too much, but it is definitely a part of like the fabric of this story. It's important. It doesn't need to be there, at least that much of it, with like 3 different pairings, but like, hey, I wouldn't take them out. Yeah. But no spoilers going into this. I want to stay as vague as I can, but there are going to be spoilers in regards to Six of Crows. This is the second in the like duology, right? So there's going to be some context things that you're just going to figure out because I'm talking about the ending of book 1. So spoilers for book 1, but hopefully no spoilers at least right now for book 2. So Kaz and crew need to go save Inej, go get Inej from Vanek, who screwed them over as one of the big baddies from Six of Crows. He screwed them over and tried to like get them all killed, and he kidnapped Inej. So they need to go get her back. I will also just like quickly sneak in. She's not just a damsel in distress. She's not just the like main plot to go save the woman this entire time. No, she's really trying to get her own way out, and she nearly does. It's foiled a couple of times. Girl is trying. So the first bulk of this story, almost the first half, is basically getting Inej back, making sure she's safe, and then once they do, really getting back at Vanek and like screwing him over and getting what they're owed and just revenge. All while the whole world is dealing with this, kind of bigger problem of Jurta Parem, this drug that was discovered in book 1. But our crew has Kue Yo Bol, who is the son of the man who invented the drug. It's a whole thing, like I said. But Kue is with our group. He's safe there, but everyone in the world kind of wants him. So they're trying to find a way to like smuggle him out, kind of get all of that political noise to like die down a little bit, while like trying to protect some of the Grisha in town at the same time, because there's other people like kidnapping them. There's a lot of layers going on. And it's just cool. It's just cool. I said really fast at the beginning of this video, and I think in book 1 as well, it's like Peaky Blinders, but with teenagers and magic. It's just cool. Ketterdam, like the world, the little island they're on, it's like this misty London type, and canals running everywhere, and like just narrow alleys and gambling dens on like every corner. But also with, some other depth to just the city as well, because there's a whole university district that's perfectly safe and fine, and there's tourists. There's a whole theater group going on. It's like a well-built city. It's not just a stereotypical, like, one thing. Kind of like a sci-fi problem I've noticed sometimes, mostly with, like, a Star Wars sci-fi problem of, like, every planet being one type of thing. Sometimes in fantasy worlds, every city can be, like, one type of thing. You know what I mean? This isn't the case here in Ketterdam. You think it's just always the seedy underbelly of London, which is kind of like what we see because that's what our crew is involved in, but there are other layers. And I think that is honestly one of the best strengths within this story too, is yeah, the world building has just always been cool, but I think really staying in Ketterdam this time, really getting to know this place and its different layers through its different characters, it feels more lived in. And Six of Crows was cool with the whole like feared and ice prison thing. That was cool too. But this is more my aesthetic. This is more neat for me. The world feels more settled in, and I think, hi Coraline. We have a Coraline now as well. Poor girl is not having the best day because she had to go to the vet earlier. She's fine. It was just like, vaccines and a checkup and stuff. But she does not like car rides. No, you were cursing me the whole time. You want to come in and settle in? Yeah. Where'd your sister go? Where did Alice go? And I do think, as I was writing these notes, I think I kind of enjoyed Crooked Kingdom a touch more than Six of Crows. I love Six of Crows. It was so much fun, such a fun introduction. But I think this one just felt a little bit more fleshed out. And I have evidence why, or I have examples why. One, I kind of just like the setting a little bit better. And two, the plot progression itself, feels a little stronger because this took me a little while to like weed out in my brain too. I enjoyed Six of Crows, but the climactic ending had so much bombastic stuff going around it. Every now and then, a couple of things felt like, okay, cool, this was like secretly planned the whole time, but a little convenient when it like cropped up for me anyway, for the reader. But in Crooked Kingdom, it was just as like a, maybe not just as a bombastic ending because there was no, like tank, but the reader is still left in the dark a little bit about certain pieces of the plan. Kaz has it all figured out. And just as the pieces are starting to like fit together for the reader, it just meshes a little better. It just clicked a little bit better. Six of Crows had the more bombastic, like hell yeah ending. And Crooked Kingdom had that as well, but more with the little seedy underbelly style of like, we're gonna trick the entire city, along with our main baddies, to just ruin them. The reader is left in the dark intentionally, but it's so much more satisfying. Also, character-wise, I noticed in Six of Crows, it's very Kaz and Inej heavy with like their backstories, and they were instantly my favorites. And there was also mostly backstory, like specifically flashbacks even, with Nina and Matthias. Is it Matthias or Matthias? Or could it go either way? I'm not actually sure. I'm gonna say Matthias. Oh, I can hear Alice. Hi. Yeah? You wanna come hang out too and you not move my notes, please? Yeah. Okay, Alice is settling in on the coffee table now. Coraline is on the desk. Well, now you're kind of in the way, honey. Anyway, I'm so sorry for all of the cat distractions, but I live in a small space with two cats. That just happens. Anyway, book one, Six of Crows, very Kaz and Inej heavy, with hints of, Nina and Matthias having all of that set up. Well, then book two, it focused more in on Jasper and Waylon, with the Nina and Mina. Does that count as a ship name if it's kind of its own name by itself? I don't know. But book two, Crooked Kingdom, fleshes out more Jesper and Waylon, which I definitely appreciate because I felt like they were lacking a little bit in the first book. Like they were cool, they were there, but it felt like they were just there to like round out the crew. Now I felt more connected with them. Jesper's dad really helped too. The moment he showed up, I'm like, oh, we have a family connection. This is gonna be sad. But Crooked Kingdom fleshed out Jesper and Waylon so much more for me. So just to summarize like the math of it, Six of Crows was Kaz and Inej with Nina and Matthias's beginnings. And then book two, Crooked Kingdom, was Jesper and Waylon with Nina and Matthias's like conclusion. With a fair conclusion for all of our pairings, there is that as well. There is a wonderful scene between Kaz and Inej that I did squeak at because they were both trying so hard, but overall, it was so much more balanced. It was much more balanced in book two. With the exception, I'll admit, of Kuwei, because I like his inclusion, I get why he's here, but he does kind of feel like a walking MacGuffin. He does just feel there. But I do like where he lands, like, emotionally. He has a very subtle arc going on of, like, his own agency and what he wants to do with the future and what he wants to do with the knowledge that he has of bravery and agency in his personal life. It's subtle, but it's there. I just wish it was a little bit more there. And rounding back just for a quick second of what I said, I mentioned we meet Jesper's father. We meet Jesper's father, and he really pulls out the idea, just the element here that like they're teenagers. They're not kids exactly, but they're just teenagers. And you don't really get that feeling in Six of Crows. You do with Jesper and Waylon, like flirting, that's cute. But in this book, you really do start to like kind of realize that like, yeah, they're just teens in way over their heads. And that brings up the theme kind of element too of like their futures and what they're going to do after all of this hopefully succeeds. A lot of stories I find, especially like the longer ones, there is usually that like, I guess it's even a trope, it has to be, of the characters really sitting down, maybe like before a final battle, and trying to talk to each other of like, what do you want to do after this? What are your goals after this? What are your life goals of like, what are you going to do after whatever plot is completed? And one of them is at least like, I honestly have no idea. Some of them maybe have plans of hoping to maybe like settle down. But there's always that conversation within like longer series. Not always longer series. This is just a duology, but like that's always a trope, right? That's always a scene. This definitely has those scenes amongst like everybody and everyone's hopes and dreams, but it does feel like there's a bit more weight. I think just because they feel a bit more real, and maybe that is just the personal writing style that I really came to connect with. Okay, so we're getting into like actual spoilers here right now, okay? Nothing like hugely plot relevant, but like some like nice little vague things. And I do want to gush about the romances just for like 2 seconds. Just indulge me for like a little bit. Because I nearly tossed the book outside. That doesn't sound as dramatic. I was reading it in my van on vacation, but I nearly tossed the book out in the grass at the like Jesper accidentally kissing Kue because he thought he was Waylon scene and Waylon walking in on them just at the time. Kue, you should have said something. Ah. And then the like bathroom bandage changing scene between Kaz and Inej, where she's wounded and he's trying to change her bandages, but like he can't touch anyone. That was just so well written too. And Nina becoming the first necromancer? I didn't really see that coming but it also like makes sense with how she was like, a heart render, right? Healing, magic, taking care of like life. But then how much the drug kind of like messed up with her powers? But she's like a necromancer now? Oh my god, that's cool! I might pick up King of Scars just for her. Is it There's probably more main characters than like just her, but like at least I want to connect back with her too. Also, the friendship between Nina and Inej was just always sweet. We need more normal friendships like that in fiction. Okay, that's it for my little reactions. Thank you. This duology was the breath of like foggy fresh air that I needed. And I wanted to ask, should I read Shadow and Bone first before the like King of Scars comes out? Because that's obviously the first series. And I know chronologically that one happens like a few years before this one. Totally fine with that. I know the gist of it, I'll admit, because I've seen season 1 on Netflix. But while I'm here for like the Kaz and Inej and Ketterdam vibes, I don't think that's the same vibe as Shadow and Bone. It's more like, classic fantasy chosen one idea. Which is fine. I don't hate those, but I am drifting away from them a little more, just as I get older. Because weirdly enough, as much as I am a fantasy fan, I'm not really here in this world for the magic system. It's cool, it's there. But I feel like it is more heavy in Shadow and Bone. I could be wrong, I'm not sure. So let me know. I'm kind of on the fence about that. How is the magic system really utilized within the plot and the whole like chosen one arc? Is it worth it? I mean, I'm sure it is. Anyway, feel free to like and subscribe, and happy Pride Month! I've actually been spending most of this month at the moment reading and catching up on Prince Lestat by Anne Rice. I missed my little gay vampire so much.